Alright. Hey Darth. Thanks for that. I didn't notice that. How are you doing? It's quite early, isn't it? For a Saturday. I couldn't sleep, so I figured I might as well stream a little bit of this. We'll be playing some Rome Total War later with Fairby. But for now, this is what it is. Hey Koketsu, welcome. Just got back from the gym. How are you doing? I'm doing okay. I hope you are doing well as well. Exhaustion. We need this clay kiln somewhere. We wanted to set up a proper workshop for the tailoring station and such, so I'll have to figure out where. This is the flax field, so I feel like we should probably build a workshop somewhere around here, along with the clay kilns. But the stockpile is kind of far away. Maybe just here. So far day is good? Okay. Let's hope it stays that way. Right. How am I liking the game? The game is alright. It's not like too accurate if we consider the historical aspect of building and such, but it does pretty well job at holding your interest. What I don't really like is if you want to go for efficiency, like all of this is built as quote-unquote nice buildings, which means I don't go and build efficiently, just build for looks mostly, which isn't great. If you were building for efficiency, you would end up with a bunch of square boxes. So it's bad that the game like forces you to do that for the most part, and doesn't really offer you any benefit of building something nice. But I guess that's the problem with most of these games. Same sort of idea behind the game being a sandbox without any predefined goals is actually not great. We'll be sending Fairby to trade with this person. I usually like to have some sort of goal in games, so that I know when I beat something like that. I feel like there is no wrong way to play games like this. Yes, but if we are talking about peak efficiency, you wouldn't end up with anything looking like this. You would be having several box-like structures with a single roof without any variation, and just do it quickly. Always looking for feedback on this? Okay. I mean, it's probably bad to force people to play this way. Like, if they want to go peak efficiency with the boxes, that's their option and they should be able to do it. Yeah, I just feel like you should be somehow rewarded for playing properly, basically. Right, so how do we do this? Yeah, he sells us meat. I will need it. Some extra flax seeds would be very nice. And then we'll have to figure out what to sell him. He would buy a bunch of our stuff. Is there something that's not really valuable? He does have barley, I think. Which barley would be good. Ever played RimWorld? Yes, I do know RimWorld quite a bit. I have something like 1,000 hours in it, but haven't played it on stream since I played it before I started streaming. It is very reminiscent of RimWorld. That's correct. Okay, what do we sell him? He doesn't want the weapons from the bandits. Can we see how much of something we've got? Sell some of the raw meat and I guess some of the berries. Could sell him some roast meat. He would actually like that. He doesn't have healing kits on him, that's kinda sucks. Can sell him a couple of stew pots. Accept that. Now we need to set up our next building project, and it's gonna be the tailor's workshop. It's gonna be something similar to this structure. Just have to build it somewhere. I need to figure out where. I'd like it to be here, I think. Something like this. Delete that. Build a clay window. Let's do a wicker door. All of these. Gotta have that. Some wooden floors. Might be part of the view on this game as someone who also played RimWorld. While watching gameplay of this, I had to forget every thought and view, like sleeping spaces, for example. People like sharing on this, but Rim, they have meltdown if someone walks in their room. Yes, they also despise eating without table. They will absolutely go berserk if they eat without the table. Just kind of funny. Right. Set up a roof like this. Actually, that isn't what I wanted. The one thing that's good in this game compared to RimWorld is actually the layers. Did I screw up again? No, I think this is gonna be okay. If you flip it like this. It's not great, but it's gonna work. It's what is important. And we'll probably have to start growing our own trees at some point in the near future. Let's harvest a couple of these mushrooms. What I'd like to get is some more barley, but it's kinda rare to find it. Actually, flowers, I think we can get some herbs from that. So maybe try to get that. And you'd probably benefit from another person. I do like the levels for building. Yes, that's the most important change, really, in this game compared to RimWorld. So it's, in a sense, more like the Dwarf Fortress, which inspired RimWorld in the first place. Okay, so what's the temperature on this? I forgot where to look up for the temperature. Maybe we need to click on the floor tile. Thermal insulation 94, no, that's not what I'm looking for. Maybe we need to flick on the room's overlay. And click on the room itself. Yeah, heating minus 4.5. So it's like a freezer, basically. Good. That's what we want. Okay, planted some flax, that's good. We'll be building up some roads now. So irregular shapes are good for visual appeal. That's why we don't really want to build two samey things. And again, another person would probably serve us well. It's gonna take a while to get someone, I guess. Build some banners. Do have a bunch of linen, so it should be fine. Not here now. Oh, it's on the pillars. New research, but we should wait on that. getting built nicely. Just need to give it some time now. Now, people are still not too happy. I guess that's because our alcohol is actually struggling. Yeah, this is fine, we don't have animal corpses to butcher. I don't see any alcohol anywhere. It's concerning. I'll have to also make some extra bookshelves, I think. What is this? Yes, that's a bookshelf. Okay, I can store plenty of books. I just saw we have 140 of them, so... Just a little bit concerned. Stockpile seems alright. Mainly resources in here now, which is good. And I suppose fermenting mash pile. So, do you want to have a stockpile for it? It is fermenting, right. Good. I guess you need to have a specific stockpile. Okay, this building is almost done. Let's take a look at workbenches. So we'll be adding a sewing station. And we want a glycol. And our barley is growing nicely, that's good. Because you'll need it for drinks. What's our clay like? Still have plenty. And wood. We have some oh, it's leather. Wood is here and sticks practically non-existent, right? Yeah, we might need to gather some berries now. Get some sticks, get some wood. And as I said, we might have to grow our own trees, which actually kinda sucks. So we'll be setting up something like a forestry here eventually, I guess. And we can plant some berries as well. It wouldn't hurt. More research available, but yeah, it's nothing too important. I feel like we should unlock this next. But maybe we want to go gradually, I don't know. Working stones. I guess you'll unlock the basics. So to the stone cutter. I don't feel like we should have him in the tailor's workshop, most likely. But we could fit it, it's not that big. Okay, let's build it. And then we'll add a wall bookshelf over here. And we will want some regular shelving. For the textiles. So you have the banners now? Okay. Let's take a look at the tailoring station. We'll need to make some summer clothes until you have 2. So if there is 2 spare, they will stop making it. So it is. Until we have 2 gaps. And 2 white hats. Dismantle items for clothing, cloth forever, but we need to edit it. Allow only flimsy stuff. Yes. And we are still lacking wood a little bit, so let's queue up some trees. Can make coal. It's for blacksmithing, I guess. Bricks. We'll make them until we have something like 200 bricks. A lot of tasks, so people might not be able to do everything. That does suck. Okay, our shelves are coming up. So this is only gonna store textiles. And it's gonna be the highest priority. Stone cutting bench, limestone bricks. Let's not bother with that just yet. Barely have enough labor as it is, I think. So what are the apple trees? I don't think they've had any yields yet. Wood is kinda low. So hope our people can do some wood cutting soon. Could task them manually, at least as a temporary thing. Because they will want to plant all these trees now. Which that's gonna be important, but not as important as having wood short term. Also, some people just love to research and we need to really put a hold on that soon. Just let them do other things instead. Let's hunt this fox. And they are having a drink constantly, so probably not gonna have too much of this. Oh, 40 is not bad actually. Hey Fairby, been awake all night, or did you just set an extra early alarm? I was actually sleeping, but then I woke up and I couldn't sleep anymore, so I decided to play some more of this. Speaking of alarm clocks, I need to disable that, otherwise I'm not gonna have a good time. And you as well, since it would be insanely loud, most likely. Let's queue up a couple trees. What we really need is another person, I think. We might have to set up an extra house, but it's alright. Question is where? Probably here. I built a door in the wrong spot. I'll just shift that. And we don't have that much wood, so I'm gonna have to figure it out. We did queue up a couple of trees. Just takes our people a while to get to it, I guess. So they are planting a lot. But at least the clay is not gonna be a problem, I don't think. Clay is there, sticks are plentiful. Just need a wood really. Now they are probably cutting some trees. So we've planted a lot of our saplings, which is nice. I'll have to change this zone for something else. Oaks and what's the other sapling we've got? Maple, pine. We do have that, so just let them do that gradually. Yeah, it's still taking them a while. And then we can set up a new garden or something. I think we don't grow beets yet, so let's do some beets. It's a free person and without any fighting. Yeah, why not? Let's risk it. Let's take a look at the perks. Lightweight. If he drinks, he's gonna doze off. That's not good. Somnolent. Disfigured is fine. It's just not gonna talk to people and it's gonna be alright. So speaking of new guys, you'll have to set up some beds. Did I not build a floor? I could swear I did. Yeah, I did. It just takes a little while to build it. Oh, cats. She's basically been jumping on me since 4 because she wanted food. Now when she's got food, she ignored it and she wants to cuddle before eating. Just like a person. Or a child, I should say. Yeah, sometimes I do feel like the cats are behaving like children as well. Can get really obnoxious. Let's get a bed. And another one. We'll be adding them a couple of bookshelves. And let's add a brazier. Should probably start adding some braziers to these places as well. Kids really like to pretend as if they are starving. They do. That's right. So we made our liquor. A rough wine pile. Okay. Yeah. My cat is like that. If she doesn't get what she wants, she looks around for stuff she can do that we don't like. Like, alright, you can not gonna give me my favorite food. Let me just drive you insane here. Yeah, button cables. That sucks. Ours don't really do that, but they are up to no good as well from time to time. Can get real obnoxious with the constant jumping on things and people. Collect this clay. It's a deer. Let's hunt it. Cave expanded the settlement a bit. Now we could still accommodate us, I think like 2 extra people, and that would be great. I really don't want to fiddle around with jobs too much, but you'll have to do it. So convalescence is gonna be 1. Now this guy. He's not gonna be a huntsman. His construction is pathetic. Gonna have to switch it to 4. It's pretty bad. That guy. That guy actually can handle construction pretty well. But he's good at something. He's fairly okay miner. Animal handling not terrible. Grow and harvest. He could do that, yeah. So he could be animal handler, basically, and miner if he has time. cook as well later on, yeah. And research, I'm gonna bump up research to be just something we don't do unless we really don't have anything else. Now she has eaten and is cuddling. She came and rested on my chest and purred. Maybe she's saying thank you for the food. Yeah. Looks like she's happy now. Sounds like she's happy. It sounds like her cat is also similar, because ours also want to be on your chest or on you a lot of the time. Again, this guy is wounded a bit, so is he going to... recover? No, he's just wounded for some reason, so he's gonna recover naturally. Okay. So many tasks at this point. Would probably benefit from having even more people. Oh, speaking of new people, there is a new settler. Mountain bandits. How big of an attack are we talking about? 2 archers, 1 fierce marauder and 4 marauders. I don't think I can kill that. No. We don't have weapons. Might have to research the wood weapons and get some bows. Then set up some rudimentary defense. Yes, but you need to do it manually with tile by tile construction. I'd like to have a moat and a palisade, but we need to really figure out what is our goal. Like, if you want to build a stone keep, we need to do that later, I guess. We could also build something like Motte and Bailey, because that is terraforming, so you could make an artificial hill for the keep and make it a wood tower. But this is already looking more like a village done inside of a Motte and Bailey, because Motte and Bailey only had a couple of structures inside, since palisading around was expensive. But yeah, the shape is a little bit reminiscent of it, so we could just expand, like keep the expansion limited to this area generally, and then have the keep in here. But we wouldn't be using the stone construction basically, because it all would be wood, I think. At least it should be. But we could make the keep stone, like there's nobody could tell us we can't. But it wouldn't be accurate. So they've cut down some trees now, that's good. Just let them rest. So what's our food stock look like? Plenty of cabbage. Resources alright. Nothing too tight, I guess. Maybe wood is still an issue, yeah. Wood is still an issue. But we've planted a bunch of trees, so that's good. What are the stockpile area with the tailor? Did they stock the textiles here? Some of them. Yeah, I guess that's oral leather and cloth, actually. So have we made any things ever? Not so far, I don't think. maybe nobody really has time for tailoring as of yet. We could set a designated crafter and tailor at some point. Also, our flax is gonna grow. That's good. And barley is growing as well. I need to figure out how to craft more healing kits soon, I think. That might cause us some problems. There is some barley lying around, so let's get that. They are drinking. Everyone drinks. Looks like we are making bricks finally. So that's good. Still struggle on wood, because it's used to fuel everything, I guess. So that's why. Friendly visit. Lone traveler. Let's wait until he comes. There he is. Let's use Fairbind to trade. Selling some apple saplings, but we don't really need that. Beet seeds are not terrible. I don't really have those, I don't think. Cabbage seeds, carrot seeds. I can pick up some of these. Could sell him the art dog. I think we will. I don't really want the dog. He does have some flax seeds though. What is it? Am I buying the dog? Yeah, I guess I am. Now do you want to sell him? We could sell him some cabbage, we do have a bunch of it, yes. Pick up some extra seeds. What's my most prioritized task now? Convalescence is for everyone. I think it's cooking. So it's also making alcohol. just research the basics. So let's do this. You'll need to set up a library. Make it from bricks, I guess. So the library could be just adjacent to this. Oh yeah, the flagpoles are causing some issues, so let's remove that. I tend to focus on cooking when I play The Sims. Okay. So I guess no complaints there. I feel like I want to play this as a macro game, just have like, I don't know, 60 people. Play it as a colony simulator, or city builder rather than a colony simulator. Maybe I should make you play The Sims? No, please no. Can you imagine the horror? I think you can. You could add your cats and make them work for you. I could. But I think we'll keep it for viewers. Let's grab a couple of these walls. I misclicked. Where is this? Okay, and we'll probably be building a second floor on this house then. Big staircase. Just add it there. Is it? It's clay? Oh, clay bricks, yeah, right. And we'll be using wood floors. So this needs to be covered. And yes, I know I will have to use some supports, most likely. Clay brick arch, no, let's use the wood. Hey Zara. These stream times are getting out of hand. Yeah, it's quite early. But I couldn't sleep anymore, so I figured we might as well continue this. Sorry if you didn't want to miss any of it. My cat woke me up and I saw that he had started streaming 15 minutes ago. Yeah. That's what happened. Right. We are having some tailoring done. It's good. Now, we could manage outfits, right? Yes. So if we take a look at our guys. So this guy is gonna have, what's his melee? What's his marksmanship? Yeah, he's gonna be a melee person. His melee weapons, one-handers, shields, headgear, helmets, apparel, all apparel, what he wants, armor, all armor. Ferbai. Ferbai is an archer, right? No, Ferbai is a melee person. So again, melee, all shields, helmets, all armor. How many viewers are in your village? I think we have Morris and you, which means 2 people. Morris is an archer. It's gonna be ranged weapon. Cap. Armor is not that important. Oda. Marksmanship 6 is not great, but we could use another archer. Osgood is an archer. Yes. Regvald is semi-competent archer. So I want to make some bows soon. I'm trading a few points to join the village. I need more people. Let's cut this apple tree. It's growing outside where it should be. Shouldn't be. Really? Now we'll have to make some more bricks, which is gonna take a little while. We have so many goats. I'm gonna have to start selling them soon, probably. Or we could slaughter some of them if some of them are old. Also these bricks, they look too smooth for me. I think the medieval bricks wouldn't look like this. It's like precise brickwork. Something that fits into like Victorian era, something like that. Not really medieval period though. Even the Romans wouldn't have these bricks this nice. And especially later Roman Empire was extremely fond of brickwork. So we can actually identify ruins from each other if buildings are made of bricks or cut stones. So how old that particular part of each building could be. Thinking about which one I want to be. Yeah, we do have quite a few people left. Roman bricks were quite long, right? Yes, they were longer than this. I think we'll want another brickworking thing. Where is it? Kill. There we go. Alright, so the stockpile is still okay. The cellar, that is. It can fit quite a few things, which is nice. So let's add a fuse pile. I'm not sure if ash is good for anything. In theory it could be used for mortar, I think. But it seems like bricks are just without mortar, so... White had decomposed, that's the one he started with, so no wonder. Let's collect this wild flax. Some mushrooms, always good. We'll need plenty of food prepared for the winter. The bricks will really not fit this village at all. I'm even considering scrapping this building and just building it out of something basic. Give Clement a proper name. He has glorious mustache, I think. Okay. We cannot see it now because he has a helmet, but let's do that. By the way, is 11 behind your name from Age of Empires 2? 11? You know what the taunt 11 means, right? Everyone knows that. Also, should we scrap this brick building? I feel like it will not fit the village at all. Which is a shame, but it... Not the numbers. Okay. Not the numbers. Yeah, we could do Roman numbers, but without numbers is fine. Zara has armor, I think. Just picked up some of the bandit gear. Big face helmet, winter clothes, light armor, and a headshot. How do you guys feel about the how do you guys feel about the brick building? It's gonna be a library. But I'm gonna struggle to make it fit this, I think. At the same time, some variation might be good, I don't know. So, clay, I think we'll mine some more clay. We can terraform this later. There's some limestone here as well, which is nice. Let's make a staircase down here. It's gonna be a good one. I have no idea what you are talking about, just my lucky number. A remnant from time, so I believe numbers can bring luck. Okay, right. Well, in Age of Empires 2, that is, you can communicate with people without having to type in sentences by just using the tones in game. And some of it is like, I need wood, I need stone, attack with archers, attack with navy, whatever. And some of it is like meme stuff. So 11 means like this hideous laughter by someone laughing at your misery. It's like I can make it happen. Just let me find the. I'm probably not gonna be able to find the file itself, but it should be on YouTube somewhere. You can go through the taunts, I guess. Or this is it, I think. Yeah, that's it. And it's very old. It's from the time when Age of Empires was first made, I think, which is like insane a long time ago. Same as Caesar. Okay.
Wow, this is a
and now we are playing Pina in this video.
So here's the deal.
Let's just close that. So if you upgrade the houses later, this one will look good. It's gonna be probably impossible to upgrade the villagers' houses. We would have to tear everything down piece by piece. So we're just gonna keep it. Zara is drunk. Well, enjoying the fruits of our labor. That's good. Let's hunt this fox. Variation will look good. Okay. Yeah, let's keep it. See how it looks like. It's gonna be the biggest building we have yet, apart from the barn, but can make that work, I think. Getting more people would be good. We should make sure we can accommodate them. So another house might be okay. Or we could have like a monk in here or something, like a librarian's office with a bed. As much as I loved Age of Empires 2, when it was around, I was playing multiplayer via LAN. We had no need for these shenanigans. It's great though. Yeah, that's what we would use to communicate with people, especially like randos if you weren't talking with guys. Also, like you reminded me, the first time I played with people with Age of Empires 2, it was actually with my uncle, and he was playing with a couple of his guys via LAN. It was great. I was so little I couldn't even read, but I did enjoy the game quite a bit. From that point on I became fascinated with RTS games in general. You just tell the other person the freaking moron they were, simple times, yeah. If you build a castle later on, can you make everyone hide in it and defend from it during attacks? Yes, bandits would steal our goods, that's why we need not only a castle but also a wall and a moat. And how we are gonna deal with it is we make the castle, but quite on the contrary from what you would have in medieval period, we'll actually make the castle a weak point of sorts by funneling enemies in there, so that, oh yes, this area is open, so they will opt to go in there, and then they get slaughtered with archers. And that's the only viable path into the city, basically. We will have some gates, I think we can make gates later, but we'll close them during attacks, so that the peasants can go out and gather things outside, but during attacks the only available route should be through the castle and the defenses, I think. Because it's highly unlikely I'll be able to make fortified stone walls around the entire place. Store everything important in the castle, I could do it, but then everyone would have to path towards the castle, no matter what small thing they need to do, which isn't great for efficiency. And already our efficiency struggles because we build nice things. So I feel like that might be too much. And also the sheer space, you would have to make a huge underground area, same with this thing, as we set up the stockpile. I think it's just better to defend everything, because they could also destroy this, and that would be horrible. So if you have a bunch of people, and yes, you survive, but they torch your entire city, even if your supplies aren't here, you are gonna be having trouble with people being unhappy without no beds and such. And having a barracks without any extra houses is against the spirit of nice things, I feel like. Just give me a moment, I have to open the window. So our pawns are sleeping. We are speeding up. It's gonna be morning soon. Just let them do that. They did actually make quite a few bricks already, which is nice. Now what about the second kiln? Yes, it is here. So let's add until you have 200 again. This one. People are happy for once. Look at that. I smoke for real too and indoors. Yeah, if I open the window I will sometimes take a smoke. And I do have some cigarettes left over from work. I used to only smoke at work, not home. I don't smoke when cats are around, so this is closed off around. I'm gonna just let the window open until it doesn't smell anymore. Then I'm gonna open it up. But yeah, I plan to drop in and only use the e-cigarette. There is no real stress anymore. But today is probably, since we are going into the pub, I'm probably gonna have to smoke, or have to, like, it's gonna be a compulsion. It's a hard habit to drop, but I did stop it for 2 years before. but went right back when I got the more stressful job. Or position, I guess you could say. Just using the ones I have. Yeah, I have like three packs left. This was the last one from one of them. Kate doesn't really like that. She doesn't like the smell, which is understandable. Still have our dog here. I set him up for training, but I'm not sure how that works. Train 16%, right. Could just always throw them away? Yes, I could. So as I said, I'm gonna bring them today in the pub. So I'm sure I can share them, or have them as well, because I'll probably want one when I drink. But I'll try to resist and not buy any more packs and just use the e-cycle next. Which I should be able to do that, I've done that before, for a long time. Smell lingers for a long time, yes it does. Don't like it either. When I don't smoke for a month or something, and then I smell someone who smokes, it's just abhorrent. But just don't tend to notice it as much when you smoke. It's just how it works, but it's not really a good habit. You should really drop it, as I said. The apple trees are just out of control here, by the way. It's just growing absolutely everywhere. I'm gonna have to cut it. It's gonna yield some saplings though, which could be replanted, I think. Can you just cut it? Yes, okay. Some of them do... Yeah, they are blossoming, so probably harvest soon. Having trouble getting the clay now, I guess. No, we still have it, just nobody is really doing that. What we don't need is more people, I guess. It's also strange how you harvest flax, but it immediately goes into being cloth. I guess they will add an intermediate stage of you having to spin or use the loom to make it into cloth, because that would make sense. It's more work, but I think they can do something like that, because this is just odd. You wouldn't get cloth out of just ripping out flax that's ripe. If you stay more, you could make a challenge for the 3 times you smoke. You have to use the Wheel of Misfortune. Sounds fair. No, I'm just not gonna smoke. So it's gonna work. I already mentioned that I smoked at work mostly. That's where I got the habit. Now there is gonna be very little reason for it. But I don't have the smoke, so I'm not gonna buy more. They are also really expensive, since these things were hit by the taxes most, since governments are resorting to taxing more things because of the economic situation. Cigarettes and alcohol are some of the things that were hit the hardest. Not that it impacts me personally too much, since I don't really buy that much of any of these things. But yeah, it's a consideration. Okay, so no more people yet. I'm gonna have to do some research soon, I think. We want the wood weapons. It costs 20. It's quite a bit. Fairbuy has a freaking great helmet from the bandit, but it's flimsy, I think. I guess people are very busy with mining now. I might have to cancel some of this actually. We have way too many resources, so couldn't even use that really. Just let them do other things, it's also needed. Winter clothes decomposed, yeah, I need to make some more clothing. Maybe we could make someone do that. So where is crafting? Oh, it's just bricks and stuff. Tailoring. Is someone good at tailoring? Morris is okay at tailoring, but he is our hunter. Well, that doesn't really matter, we could just make it one. And then have him also do some researching when he has spare time. Morris is gonna go on tailor. So we do have the cloth, so we should be using it. This is just absolutely chock full of things. I also don't think we need this bed anymore, so just get rid of that. We've had very generous taxes on alcohol since 1955, when the state got monopoly on it. Makes sense. As you mentioned, the alcohol is very, very expensive. But I think that's the theme in Scandinavia in general, right? I hate it when they tax different stuff, different amounts. If anything should be taxed, it should just be the same percentage all over. Yeah, it's like they try to put themselves in labeling themselves as we are doing it for the moral good of taxing the bad stuff. But at the same time, if people suddenly just stopped smoking or drinking, they would lose out on a lot of money. So they are putting themselves in a position where they actively don't actually want to discourage these practices in society just because it brings in so much money. If that makes any sense. So it doesn't really serve the purpose of it, it's just a label. Punishing behavior they think is bad, it's just stupid. They should reward the people who don't smoke instead, yeah? They should. And Papa State is not gonna work, so it's just arbitrary. And they want to earn the money, yeah, so they actually don't want people to drop the habit. Because they would lose on a lot of dosh. These apple trees are really getting out of control. I might have to replant them elsewhere actually. Just to set this garden for some growing of crops instead. And have the orchard somewhere else. This is growing. In Sweden they started the plastic bag tax for the environment, but then talked about how much money they lost because people started buying paper bags for some reason. It's puzzling. Same thing here, you cannot get free plastic anymore and it's all taxed, so that's similar. It's because they want to label themselves as environmentally conscious and friendly. Well, it's curious how 99% of all plastic in the ocean is actually from third world countries, and there is very little effort in terms of preventing that from happening. But you know, reasons don't really matter. It's just virtue signaling, basically. So you can say we are doing something for the environment, while yeah, some of the stuff they are doing, like limiting industry and stuff, it's not really great for us, since all of our efforts are gonna cost us quite a bit in terms of how competitive our industry is with the rest of the world if they don't have to uphold these standards. Just because you stop using plastic straws here doesn't mean that the seas will be safe. Yes, not at all. I mean, it's one thing is clear, like recycling things is actually useful, but even the recycling process isn't actually what is advertised in the political sphere, because usually it ends up just in a dump anyway. But if we set up a really good and efficient system for the reclamation of resources, it would be good, just so that we don't have to make as much. But it needs to be done realistically and not how it's done currently, where it's just for the sake of we can say we recycle, but what we do with it later doesn't really matter. Which is just stupid. If anything, they should fine littering more, like 500% more, so it really hurts to get caught. Yeah, sure, I'd be up for that. One of the things to say about that, though, is you need to ask yourself what kind of people would it probably target the most. And it's not gonna be the educated elites of the society, but it's gonna be the dregs of society who are already struggling with survival. So, you know, if you set up something like that, what might happen is these people might get fined, and then it's gonna be so much money they cannot afford it, so it's gonna go and go into debt. It's gonna make them have even lower standard of living and turn them to crime or something. So these things are a little bit difficult to handle. It would hit the smokers who threw cigarette stubs on the ground. Yes, it would. But yeah, I think for there needs to be a social consideration of who you are actually fining with this, and if it's so large of a sum. For some people, like, there are people who would pay that amount and don't even blink, and there are people who couldn't pay it in like 3 years. So if there is consideration about the social consequences of that for that particular person, you could maybe switch that sentence for public work or something like that, and they can work it off instead. But I feel like putting people into devastating debt if they are already low strata would probably not be very good. Teenagers the most, yeah. And it would force the parents to pay it, so... I mean, you can police your children a little bit, but you never know what they are up to when they are not home, so it's kinda tough. Fine could be a percentage of the yearly income then, yeah, so it's fair. I honestly think that's how most fines should work. Even traffic tickets and everything. Because it's the same sort of issue. Some people just don't care because they have such high income, it doesn't really impact them even if they get charged 10 times the amount. But for someone it's already too much to pay. So it's just disproportionately targeting some strata and making them be way worse at life. That would affect the rich. We can't have that. Well, yeah. It would. And we can't have that. That's right. That's why government wouldn't do that. Because yes, it makes sense, but it just targets the wrong people, so you cannot do it. Still right. Well, that's the like I don't know if you want to talk politics really. I think Finland has some fine like that. That is a fixed percent of their salary. I can't remember for what though. I think Germans have it as well for something. So it's not that rare. It exists, but it's not universal for all the things. I don't think. But yeah, if you wanted to talk politics, I do think that in general, the elites usually, they don't really, politically speaking, they don't fear like political opposition from the lower strata anymore. Like that's more akin to what was happening in history for the most time, when there was a real threat of violence and very little power that can actually stop it if the uprising was large enough. So people had a reason to fear that. But in today's circumstances, rich people, or generally the elites, they fear the middle class more, because there is the political shift in the mentality, and they don't want that. They want to retain power and all their perks. But at the same time, some of it is not well earned, and it's actively working on the backs of other people. So if there is any legislation or anything that goes against their interests, it's probably gonna come from the middle strata rather than the lower strata, which means that basically middle class and low class are on the same ship, and politically speaking, they just don't realize it and see each other as an enemy, while the real enemy is living the high life off of the Discord. So dividing people and then having them have false constructs like a left and right paradigm is actually actively working for these people, just to retain their power. Seeing the continuous drift from democracy to oligarchy, that wouldn't fly. It wouldn't. But yeah. I mean, it's... Speaking of the democratic things, if you were able to go back in history and show Romans or Greeks our representation of democracy and what it's like and what it means, they wouldn't agree with it. They would say that it's not real. But we still tend to think of ourselves as superior, even though all the things that, like, even politically speaking, there was some stuff going on in here, for example, in the parliament, where someone was doing public speaking in terms of proposing a legislation, and the other party didn't agree with it. So what did they do? They just invaded the bill, basically. So when the political party finished speaking on the proposal, they just continued to speak until there was no time left. So they had to postpone and do it again, and that happened again. While people here were like, oh my god, what is this? The democracy is so broken. Well, no shit, Sherlock. This is what happened to Caesar in 40 BC or something. So, I mean, we have evidence of this and how to deal with it, or what it causes, and how you can prevent it. But why bother? Let's just think of ourselves as the inventors of everything and try to solve it with our very limited solutions. So it's just really funny how some people think that's like a novel idea while it has been here for ages. Imagine what they would say about women voting, yes, and child labor not being a thing and such. Some things are controversial for sure about today's society, like I'm not considering these things too much because it's a different time. I'm more along the lines of just the democracy in question, because they would consider this system an oligarchy at best. It's more like they wouldn't say people have any power, basically. There is universal voting, but it doesn't mean anything with how the political system works currently. So that's what I was mentioning. You just close the window. And there is snow outside. Kate wanted to take the cats out because she likes when they derp out in the snow. So might have to do that later. Let's get some hay. And it's gonna be autumn and the winter will be here soon. We had some cold snap or something. You have a word for that in Swedish. Doesn't really work in English though. Democracy plus dictatorship. Yeah. Means a false democracy basically. We don't really have a word for it, I don't think, in Czech. But even in recent history, actually do have experience with authoritarian regimes, since we were under the communist rule for quite a long time. Consider how few people care about politics here to be main problem. Yes, to an extent, but that was one of the aspects of the original democracy where everyone had the right, every male adult citizen had the right to vote, and he was expected to vote and care about politics, and if he didn't, he was shunned because he was actively working against society in a way by not caring. But the other thing is, some people just don't have it in them to really decide very good things, so not all people are well fitted to be making some executive decisions. That's why actually Athenian democracy was just, to a modern person, I find it a little bit strange, where they, if you know how Athenian democracy worked, they would hold elections for public offices, but not only offices, but also things like, you could just be a random freaking goat herder, and you would be voted to become a diplomat to Rome, and they would send you there. But they would also send with you like 2 slaves who were educated well and who would tell you what is your job supposed to be. But some people just couldn't handle it still. So their system was like anti-authoritarian to an extent where it actually was crippling their ability to make competent people do do positions who require competent people. So it's just, we need to have some sort of balance. None of it is really good, but the thing we have currently doesn't actually do a better job than this system, I don't think. You just trust the politicians and follow the state's media narrative, yeah. And that's what's actively causing our decline though. Because you cannot rely on that. And if you don't take interest in that, unfortunately you are actively making it worse for everyone else. But the ones that are unable of critical thinking or an amount of thinking really will vote because someone promised them few euros. Yeah, that's how it works. That's been with us a long time. You can counter this. It's just, it requires the system to be well designed, which ours really is showing that it has quite a few shortfalls. Run games for the people. Yeah. Well, since you are mentioning that, I think there is a little bit of a misconception. Like, you are aware of conservative and reformist factions in the late Republic, right, Fairby? So in the times of Caesar and a little bit before him, so after Sulla and Marius, you would have 2 factions formed basically in the Senate, and one of them would be conservatives, which were usually senatorial people, who would be people who had estates, so wealthy aristocrats, landed aristocracy, and they would have slave plantations and things like that, which they would use to generate income. And they would do everything in their power in order for them not to lose income or political power. And they were quite large group of senators. Even Cicero was working with them quite a bit because he was favoring status quo quite a lot. So they did favor his views on occasion, but he didn't agree with everything they wanted to do. And the reformist faction was a faction of Caesar was actually part of that faction, and eventually it became the Caesarian faction. And reformists were actually wanting to reform the government and give land and money back to the people in order to make them profitable, rather than sitting on their ass in Rome and taking public money in terms of free food, and then having to also pacify them with public order and games, and like you mentioned, these things, bread and circuses. So the active solution was there, just people who were actually gonna be hit by the economic impacts of solving it were against it, because they favored having unstable situation in Rome with lower strata all over the place, rather than pinching their own purse. And that's where the Civil War came in, because there was just such a disagreement that they couldn't really handle it, which led to 2 civil wars and Caesar sitting on top of conquered republic in the end. And started from fairly small things. But yeah, that's just another example how the elites will just oppose any form of change if it doesn't favor them. So no matter if it's right or wrong, if it fixes a political system that's broken, if it's because in Rome they were quite aware of the political strife that would happen in terms of like 10-20 years if they didn't fix the situation, but they rather prefer the situation to go out of hand rather than just to immediately take the bitter pill and solve it. They actually bring that up a little in I, Claudius, nothing deep, but they show the problem of it all. Yeah, I mean, the Roman Republic was utterly broken at the latter stage. And it was actually broken since Sulla and Marius. But the main issue with that is the Civil War, because you couldn't fix problems politically anymore. So what happens is, after Marius, basically every army is more loyal to their general than to the state, because it gets paid by the general, and they will praise the general, make him have a triumph, and he's gonna be their like chief guy. Then they no longer see the republic as the face of their government, but rather they serve with the general, they serve with him for a very long time usually, so they really develop a very tight relationship. And then what happens is these people will actually become strongmen or dictators, because they will use the army to overthrow the republic, or proscribe their enemies and all that. So the system was basically rigged, because it was not like that before. When Roman Republic was at its golden age, what happened was the Roman army was actually a citizen army, so it was more akin to the hoplites of Greece, for example, where they would be citizen soldiers most of the time. And so Roman armies were made out of citizens who had to provide their own gear, and they were made up of usually mid to high strata. Lower class people just wouldn't have the gear to be able to participate in these campaigns and wars. So what changed was when Marius came to power, or usurped power, he enacted some reforms which were establishing the money pillar system, which standardized the military, and also said that state is gonna provide gear for soldiers and make them not have to provide their own things, which also guaranteed their salary and said how long they have to serve. Basically established a professional army. But they were paid by the general and not by the state. And they saw the general as the one bringing them all the glory and all the things. And the general himself would also be responsible for politically securing their reward for service, which was after 20 years of service to the legions, you were entitled to receive a farmstead that you would be using as your source of income, and you would be living there with your family. Now, Romans had this misguided concept of every soldier has to be a great farmer and every farmer has to be a great soldier, because they viewed that as sort of going back to their roots, as their beginnings of that agrarian prowess. But it was really misguided. When some people came back from the wars after 20 years of doing warfare, they just couldn't handle farming at all. And the same goes if you just send a bunch of farmers to do a campaign, they wouldn't do very well without any training. So this was just a political pandering, basically. But it's interesting how they looked upon themselves and how long did they uphold these like traditions, even though they didn't really make any sense. And if you think about it, they just don't make any sense. But Romans just had so many weird concepts we couldn't understand. That's why they are so interesting. And it's also part of the reason why we cannot really... some people tend to judge these, like, judge the people in history compared to the modern point of view, but that's not how you need to look on it. Because it's the same thing, if you think about it, they wouldn't understand you or me, so you need to just adjust your mind if you are speaking about Romans or learning about them in order for you to absorb the knowledge, otherwise you are gonna just be struck with prejudice all the time, which is not good. As a wise man once said, sounds good, doesn't work. Yeah, clearly. I have another dog. I'm gonna have to sell those dogs, I think. I don't really want the dogs. So they've almost built a brick building, so that's good. Can the dogs help with defending? I have no idea. Probably can if we train them, which we are trying to train one, but it's taking absolute ages. So I'm not sure. I'd rather just sell that. It would be neat if he could help with hunting, maybe. But yeah. You also need to do a whole bunch of hauling, but nobody has the time to do it. Now, what about the cloth things? Did we make some nice things already? Summer clothes starter? Yes. So we made those, that's good. Might be good to make some winter clothes now, which we should do soon. The research is still gonna take a while. I also should really set up a stockpile for alcohol somehow, but I was thinking they would bring it to a regular stockpile, maybe they just don't have the time to do it. Separating the stockpile sounds good. Yeah, it could be good. We also will want an armory for various things and also clothing. I just will have to make a workshop for weapons first and then probably have that adjacent. Yeah, I would like to have an armory and then have part of the armory as armor and clothes as well. Or we could make a shed nearby the workshop for clothes. But it would be really weird. The small buildings look really odd in this game. So it's better to build a larger one and then have segments, I think. We have so many hauling tasks. If this was like a RimWorld, the dogs could actually haul things for you if you train them. But I don't think that's the case. We'll see soon enough, I guess. You're making some bricks finally, that's good. And we have some barley. Nice. Research. I need to wait until we have wooden weapons. But it seems like we need just so many people. How realistic do you think? Oh, just let me attack. That's gonna be a large one. They are already coming. This is not very good. How realistic do you think they will go with flax, for example? IRL, it is very tedious process to make it into clothes. They will make it require several steps, do you think? I already make flax. I talked about how it's very unrealistic in this game, where you grow the crop and this person comes to the crop and picks it from the ground and it instantly becomes cloth. So there is no loom phase or thread phase to make it into cloth. But yes, you are correct. Processing flax into cloth was a tedious process that required several steps. Okay, everyone needs to be drafted. I'll send them on the building, I think. There's no staircase, right? That hurts us a bit. Just thinking about, will they make it several phases later? I have no idea. They might. It would make sense, but I cannot speak for the devs because I have no idea. But it's something most, like, we cannot be the only people thinking that. So I imagine they will add something like that a little bit later. I just don't know when or if that's gonna happen, so you know. It will make sense, but you'll see. I wanted to do that, but the staircase is not built yet because it's made of bricks and we don't have enough bricks. But it's alright, we should be able to take them on, I think. They do have quite a few people, which makes it difficult, but you'll see. Okay, move up. Don't kill me. Salutations, hey Super Cheese, welcome. Bad people. Yes, go and shoot the bad people. One of them goes to loot our stuff. The archers are having tough time. Okay, that's done. Let's attack this guy. Come on, Fairby. Rudolph is gonna be pretty tough, so you need to be careful. Kite him. That's the better marauder, I think. You can do it. Kill them all. Zara, come back. You're wounded. Hey. Rudolph is an issue. Let's just kill him. Let's try to shoot him. Zara's gonna have to melee. You have a raid? Oh yes, we do. Fairby was the bravest of the settlers, dealing the most blows, and Zera took the most damage from the enemy, thinking of defending. Okay. Kill the last guy. Actually, there is another guy that wanted to loot my smoked meat. It's my smoked meat. Yeah, Zara is hurt a bit. It's alright, he will survive. We don't have that many healing kits though, so it's a concern. We'll let that one go, he's too far away. On draft. Enable all the things. They did bring us some nice stuff, which we cannot even make. Some of the things are gonna be good, like this bow, even though it's not great. Just cannot make our own yet. Who knows, maybe somebody will even buy this. Time for an armor, yes. I'd like to build the Fletcher's workshop and the weapons workshop first though. As I mentioned, maybe it's fine though, because the stockpile still has some spaces left, right? The weapons racks are gonna take the weapons, and then the armor is gonna fill up like this spot. So it's fine for now. But we'll need to deal with that soon. We also need to somehow make sure we have more healing kits. So maybe somebody could sell some to us, because I cannot figure out how to make them. It's probably a later research. Armor? Yes. You will wear it automatically. I'm just gonna take a look. They should opt for the best gear if we manage them, and send them to you can wear helmets and all armor and heavy shields and stuff. So you could edit armor as well, but that's not really that important. So who is our next best archer? Zara is pretty bad at archery, so we can just have him as this. Redwald. Then, yeah. Let's keep him on ranged. Can have a cap, no armor. Actually, add armor to all people. Marksman, yeah. Still tired. Yeah, typing is a pain. It's alright. Unfortunately, Zara is out of action and out of work for a while. But somebody had to take the damage, I think. We'd really benefit from another person at this point. We'll add a second floor to the library later. I will add it now, because you'll need a roof. So the lower floor is gonna be workbenches, so library, the research things, and then some bookshelves. And on the upper floor, we'll be making an office for the librarian, I think. Like a sleeping quarter for like 2 people, something like that. And then probably add a couple of windows, so we can actually shoot out of them, so we can use the library as a defensive building, since it's our most sturdy one. I guess that makes sense for now. I guess you can start working on the armory, but the armory itself should be pretty sturdy as well. But I don't think we'll have so many bricks. So maybe limestone. Could be alright. Could just build it adjacent or at least a little gap, I guess. But the armor needs to be pretty spacious. We could make it into a tower of sorts. It wouldn't be too bad. Fortunately, there is no way to build square things in this game. So I want to have a staircase as well. This needs one more tile. Could have had to work trying to kill me in the next 20 minutes. I want to witness my inevitable demise. Okay. I'll do my best not to kill you off. I think we should be able to do a pretty good job at that. It's not like some other games where it's pretty common to die early on. Now I'll build a regular door because it's more sturdy. Need some more bricks soon. No windows in this one, I don't think. And then we'll do... the next one is gonna be the important one. I think the armor as a defensive structure also makes sense. Yes, it does. That's why usually a tower was selected as an armor in smaller settlements. Actually, I'll have to cancel that. Anyway, it's alright. We want that wooden, I think. Okay. So it like that. Can you make a corner Merlon? But that's not how Merlons work. Merlons are the gaps on the battlements between, or they have the sticking out part, yeah. So then you have the crenelle, which is this thing. You can make them corner, right? Ah, it's so weird. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, you can do that. So this part needs to be a corner piece. And they come with machicolations. So you can shoot down. That's actually pretty neat, even though it's a late medieval invention. Yeah, having that as a thing in game is actually pretty neat. Now we'll have to just make sure we have another layer of the tower itself up top. It's probably gonna be wooden structure on top of that, I guess. And we'll need some sort of door. It actually isn't too great because of this. So maybe we could add a door over here. Cancel that. Now we need a floor again. This is so weird. Oh, I don't think this is gonna work too well. Oh well. Guess I'm gonna have to cancel these. Replace the floors with some. Should have been taller. Let's mine some limestone. The research is available. Right, wooden weapons. Let's unlock that. So we have 2 new workbenches. So I'll have to make that. It's gonna be a new workshop as well. It's probably gonna be somewhere along here. Haven't burned all the corpses yet. The dog is eating the dead. It's not great. Hey Blubber, welcome. Thanks for the donation for the 24-hour stream. I see I have a VTuber now. It's not a VTuber. It's just me. But yes, we do have a cam now. CCTuber. Let's take a look. I think I might have cancelled my flooring. No, the floor is there. It just takes a while. Could always raise the tower by 1 more level, right? Yes, we could, and then we could maybe make the staircase properly. So that's an idea right there. It's gonna be a little bit weird in terms of the height for the archers, but I think they should still be able to shoot properly from there. Let's make a new staircase. It's gonna have to be, as I said, it's gonna be weird. Yeah. Yeah, something like that. Could make some windows in turret to shoot at closer enemies. They will have the machicolations, so they'll be able to shoot directly down. What I'm worried about is shooting in the distance, not directly adjacent to the wall. Hey, Pissanout, welcome. Thanks for the donation for the 24-hour stream with the salt crystals. I appreciate it. And we are getting kinda close to it. I think it's gonna happen pretty soon. Maybe you could stream while you cook too. I'm not very good at cooking. It'd be a disaster. Sounds entertaining to me. Some people just want to see the world burn. Okay, this floor is done. We'll be doing some weapon racks. Do some wall-mounted weapon racks as well. And then we need to take a look at how do you store textiles? Can you store them in the shelves? No. There might be a new option for it somehow, somewhere. Just gonna have to be researched, I guess. Furniture 2. Chest, yeah, it's really in the chests or armor rack, yeah. We want that, so that wants the extra research things she don't have access to yet. Beekeeping, yes, there is beekeeping. Not sure how useful it's gonna be. So you can make meat, probably. We can make multiple kinds of alcohol for now, so it would make sense you can make meat as well. Once we unlock that, but it's gonna take a while. Research is really slow, especially since I'd need a whole bunch of people for all the tasks we need to do. That's just not happening currently. Be hilarious if you could place beehives all over that attack bandit. Have we talked about beehives and the defenses in medieval times before? I mean, it gets overused a bunch in the media. Don't think so. Well, do you want to hear something about that? Or... I guess a historical fact redemption would be in order. Why not? I don't work for free. Fork over the salt. Got baited into it. Hysterical facts, yes. Alright. Oh, it's interesting. I could talk about it of my own volition. Shouldn't feel like we have to have a redemption for it. Yeah, extra person. And she's immediately wounded. What are her perks? Precious, Gobbler, Cannibal, and Vince. Okay. Well, just keep her. What do I want to say? Yeah, I mean, she's unconscious. That's fine. What we need to talk about is the Beehive and media overusing it in terms of defense. Like, you have games like Rome Total War or whatever, where you have the Beehive monitor and things like that. It's really hilariously horrible in the game. That's how it should be, because if you get hit by a beehive, unless it's a beehive made of wood, you would probably not suffer any real damage, and at that point you might as well launch just a regular projectile, and the bees are gonna be a minor annoyance, especially if the enemy is wearing armor. And there are some instances where people mention like using beehives in defense as in terms of throwing them at the enemy, or even like shooting them inside a settlement or a castle with a siege weapon. But the effect is insanely limited if you think about it. If you are wearing armor, even a Gambesson, what would happen if the bees just get agitated? You wouldn't really care about that. And especially if you are in a life-threatening situation where somebody is escalating the walls, you wouldn't really care about that sort of thing. And now, if you are climbing a ladder on the walls and something hits you, and it's a beehive, and the hives are the bees are all over you, it's gonna maybe cause you some stings. But then again, you are not gonna drop to your death from the ladder just because you got stung by a bee. Especially if you are wearing armor, it's very improbable you are gonna get stung repeatedly by a whole bunch of them, even if a hive hits you. And it's just preposterous that somebody would cultivate bees for the sole purpose of just throwing them at the enemy, because it's just a waste of resources. It actually is quite tedious to get a beehive to be good at life. Even with armor, they'll try to find holes, more likely holes in your helmet. Yes, it could happen, but then again, it's not gonna cause you to die, and you're not gonna panic and fall from the ladder to your death. Most likely it could happen, but if you know what you are doing, which most medieval soldiers were at least aware of these sorts of things, yeah, that wouldn't be happening. So most likely what was happening is, as a guard or a man-at-arms who was patrolling the walls as your main job, basically, what you would do is you would keep bees, because you are on this high ground and you could just patrol and have like several beehives in the towers where you frequent and just take care of them. They fly into the countryside, come back, and it's just a nice hobby basically for these sorts of people. And then if there is an attack or something, and it happens fairly quickly, you could maybe consider using that to dissuade the enemies. But more likely what would happen, as I mentioned, it's tedious to get a beehive to work, and you build sort of an attachment to it, so it's unlikely you would just throw it away, especially since it doesn't really have an effect. So instead, what you would do is you would have the defense, right? And so somebody else might come into the tower where you have your beehive, and then they might consider using it. Because why not just toss a beehive at them, see what happens? And it's not your beehive, so you don't really care. But if you are the person keeping it for ages and making sure it works, you also are aware of the limited effect the bees would have, you're probably not gonna waste it. Behave now. Hobby. Oh no, the puns are getting real. So that's from me on the beehives. Okay, so the armor is getting done. I will scrap the racks in this place. We no longer need that. what you'll need is set up these. I cannot do it globally. It has very high priority though, so they should use it. And we have a new person. Hopefully she's gonna contribute to society. Gasta. Is she good at something? Need to take a look at that. Mining, smithing, botany. So another person like that. You can just keep her. So she's gonna recover. Do some mining and then do whatever. Maybe do hauling, us two, for her. Settlers are becoming annoyed. It's gonna go away. We've also built a library, so we could start building the second floor now. What crops are we currently growing? Flax, carrots, cabbages, barley, berries over here, apple trees. And that's it. Also beets. So basically everything. We need to figure out where to place the windows. Probably gonna be the same spot as the other areas. It's gonna look a little weird, but should be alright. And I just built a bunch of useless stuff. Let's just scrap that. Can make some borscht. Yeah, we could. I think. Question is, do we really want it? I don't think it's very good. Let's make 2 rooms. Add a roof. So what are resources? We haven't taken a look in a while. Looks like clay is being depleted a little bit. But there is still a pile left in here. I'm gonna excavate a couple of tiles. Nothing too crazy. Just let people do various tasks. We do have a bunch of hauling still left to do, and all that. They just love to mine. Clearly. The tower construction is progressing. Somebody got wounded a bit. Laceration. We didn't have healing kits, so that sucks. There is no way for me to get more. We need to advance the research, I think. Might be lacking wood again. Yes, we are. Cut down some extra trees then. We do have a lot of sticks, but not much wood, really. It sucks a bit. Get some berries before winter. But we should have plenty of food, I think. We have various vegetables, some meats as well. Yeah, wood is a problem. Could research terraforming. Fletching, cooking, what's the fletching? It unlocks a longbow, yeah. We all want that. Armor is still far off. Cooking would be stove, lavish meals. I think we'll... Cartography is for caravans. Let's get fletching. It's winter, so the crops are probably dead. I need to micro the fields, because I didn't realize they will plant it if there is gonna be winter. That sucks. Well, if you lose some seeds, I guess we can handle that. Some winter clothes should be done. It's gonna be alright. You also do have the fire pits in almost each building. So do you have winter clothes ready? Summer clothes, winter clothes, they're there. But they are almost broken. There are some winter clothes here. I really don't want to babysit people, they should know that they should pick up the clothes. I guess you have to do that. So tower level is done. So I have to make extra wooden floor. And then you'll need to add crenellations. Now we need to add that extra layer. It's gonna have a hole. There's nothing I can do about that. Library is getting done. I will build up the workbenches in the lower level already, I think. So it does require the improved research workbench. I just would. Let's get 2 tables for research. Grab some bookshelves. This area is gonna be left open for now. I'm gonna get the green screen today. So hopefully we won't have to have the background for much longer. They should deliver it. I hope I'm gonna be at home though. We'll see. So after these two are done, I will need to make the bowyer's workshop. Or the workshop for weapons, rather. Need to make some good bows. It's gonna be super useful. I need to scrap this old workbench in here. Textbook. Forever. And you want some basic ones as well. I see that you can only make the better ones at this one. Gonna take absolute ages to construct everything. Merchant caravan. They have some luxuries, we'll see if we can afford anything. And if there is anything useful. Looks like we still don't have that much wood. Fairby is gonna talk to the merchant. No, don't attack. Barter. Kill the merchant and take his goods. I think that would have far-reaching ramifications. Probably shouldn't do that. So this would be buying, right? Need to sell things properly. Pretty cheap caps, but that's actually our stuff, so we could sell caps, I guess. But it's maybe too cheap. Well, we can make more. That's fine. Do you have anything remotely interesting? They sell research. It's pretty expensive though. Do you have a bunch of linen? You have to make up for this inefficiency somehow. It's tempting, but I really don't think we should. Need to be careful. The worst thing that could happen is we could be invaded by the faction that owns this caravan, and we couldn't even kill them, I don't think. Especially not since our tower is not done yet. Give them bats. Nice bookshelf each for the librarians. Need more clay bricks, it's alright. They're firing up the kilns. This music reminds me a bit of RuneScape at times. It's a little bit strange. I'm not the biggest fan of the music in the game, personally. I just feel like this track is fairly okay, but there are times with no music, or very subtle, just single tones. I'd like the music to be more like Stronghold 1. If anything, it seems like it's just not that good. Maybe they will add more music later on. I don't know how high of a priority it really is. But the game can be a little bit quiet. If it was up to every game that wasn't C3, it would be Stronghold 1. Oh. Not really, I'm talking about the music here. Let's expand this zone. But yeah, Stronghold 1, pretty good. Especially the insane mod for the campaign. Play CZ3 music instead. It's not very fitting though, is it? But I'm really tired of this one. It's really not great. And it's repetitive. You'll be driven insane if you listen to this for like 6 hours. So maybe we could. You just play RuneScape. So the first one is pretty long though. It's like the beginning stages. Let's make it a little bit quieter. For me it's insanely loud. Okay, better. It's gonna... yeah, I'm gonna skip the initial part because it's really slow. Yeah. How loud is that? That's fine. Okay. Still need wood. Now we do have some research, so we could just pick up the stuff we haven't picked up yet. There's actually a bunch of wood lying around, so just let people get it. So I have a couple of extra bedrooms, that's okay. So that are food stocks. Still have a bunch of food. Without the clay, looks like we could dig a little more. Designate more foxes. So this building is finally done. You'll need... what is it? Clay brazier. Could make it out of bricks, I guess. Just burn the books. They've dug that up, so no real reason to hurry. Just let them wake up, do their chores. We need more people. I might actually want to excavate a little more, if that is limestone. Yeah. Unfortunately, there's not much limestone left over here. Gonna have to go somewhere else for it properly. But I'll want to fill this in with dirt, I think, later. What's that? He does have good winter clothes. Gonna have to be inside where there is warmth, I guess. Soil and slope. Yeah, I'll be filling this in later. Now I'll have to make the workshop. I think we'll make it out of wood. Just build it over here. Alright, so it's gonna be the workshop. After it's done, which is gonna take a little while. Winter is so grim. Can't really see much. Whereby has hypothermia. And is unconscious. Right. Yeah, I wanted to build this thing. Should probably be a priority. Oh, this guy. No, this guy. Okay, you do that. And it should help them. He was building the towers, so he got sick from that, I guess. This music gives a very different feeling to the game. It does, doesn't it? So what I said, it will not be very fitting for this setting. So it's more epic if the game isn't as calm as it is. Yeah, it's very calm and slow progressing. But then suddenly there is a huge attack and you have no time to prepare. It's just like RimWorld. Everything's fine until it isn't. Gonna harvest a bit of this. It's gonna be a whole bunch of sticks, which we don't really have a use for, but Star should really look differently, but with what the game allows you to get, I don't think I could have gotten much nicer structure here. It looks a little bit weird. We need a beehive. Set up a couple nearby the different crops, I guess. I like the top of the tower. You could add 2 more in the village to protect it from different directions. Yeah, but I'd like to keep this one as an armory, really. And then maybe even consider connecting it to the other fortifications. Or I guess we'll go with fortified cities. Since there is no system of nobility in this game, we might as well just go with a fortified city. We could have like a keep somewhere, but for the most part it's gonna be a bunch of stone walls and then this. If there are enough resources for that, we'll see. It's gonna be a monumental project to build that, but might as well be the goal. Oh, someone is unconscious again. It's Osgood, because he's working so hard. He's getting hypothermia even with warm clothing. A central keep with armor and tower around the village? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Having to keep somewhere over here would actually make sense, but the armor itself would have to be moved inside a keep. It wouldn't be like a standalone structure anymore unless it's part of the wall itself. Sweet time to fetch weapons before attacks. Yeah. What we could do is break into this from a point and make this integrated into the wall, so you can actually access the battlements from the armor. That would make sense. You fainted, yes. People are fainting, it's a cold snap. I have warm clothes and braziers in every house. Still not enough. If the game is gonna kill me for that, I have no answer for that. So, what can I do? It's a cold snap. It's minus 37 degrees and the game says you die. No matter if you have good warm clothes, as we do. It's just not gonna happen. It's gonna kill the settlement. And I don't think that's my fault. Wooden buildings are needed for this day. This is our first winter Fairby. And clay should be insulating the same as the wood, maybe even better. Yeah, wood actually has shit insulation. Clay is good. Clay is 0.93. So bricks are 0.75. So clay is better than bricks in this game. So that is. The temperature is dropping though. There was the cold snap, so now the cold snap should go away hopefully, but it was really weird. I don't think that's very well balanced. The clothing should give you more protection, I guess. So you can't get better clothes. Minus 27 is very cold. The coldest I've experienced was minus 25, but it might have been slightly colder. I was freezing a lot in modern warm clothes. Yes. But from a gameplay perspective, I don't know. What am I supposed to do? You tell me. I've prepared. It's not like I neglected the clothing. It's not like I don't have braziers in the houses. What else should I do? There are no other things I can do. Because people were freezing in their homes, I think, even with the braziers. Minus 40, some peasants just die. Well, not if you're playing RimWorld and every pawn fulfills several jobs and a loss of a single pawn is a huge deal. So before you start advocating things like that, you need to realize this is a fucking game, it's not real life. If you implement that as a mechanic, do it properly, so you can actually protect against it. I did consciously prepare for it, and it's not enough. What can I do? If there is nothing you can do, well then, sucks to have to rely on people to do things then, and might as well make it a freaking city builder and not care about individual people. Maybe you're supposed to just stay inside during the cold snap. There's no way. You cannot restrict people like in RimWorld. Everyone survived but had frostbite. With protection and heaters. With clothes and heaters. So if they didn't have either of these, they would be dead. That's for sure. Wolf has made its way into the granary, or the storehouse. Gonna have to hunt it. Hopefully it's not gonna be too dangerous. This house is never gonna be built, is it? I guess our builder is just perpetually sick at this point. Well, let's just observe it for hours then, we'll see what happens. Oh. Temperature is a little bit better at this point. Still not sure how long the winter is gonna last, but it's really salty, I don't like it. Gonna make a heater in here. Have a mode so that you tell them to stay inside as much as possible. Yeah, but there is no way to do that. So you just feel useless. That's just allowing goods. Critical condition. Morris is gonna die. Bitten. Oh yeah, attacked by wolves. That's great. Things should slow down during the winter, but if they keep running out, it's just annoying. Yeah, you cannot restrict them, so that is annoying. Like in RimWorld, you would have to make sure you stay indoor. But if you are playing RimWorld on any like hostile weather conditions, you would actually have a big interconnected big building or base, and then you would have hallways that are heated and you can use them. While in this game it's not really possible, so that sucks. I wonder if this is meant to take place during the Little Ice Age, those late medieval times. You know, it's 1353, according to the game itself. It's supposed to be England. Okay, the workshop will be done eventually. Yes, temperature is worse again. Maybe the Little Ice Age is starting at this time. It's possible. I think that would add up with the date. It's really cold for European conditions. It's like Russia or Scandinavia. But I guess Britain is also not the warmest place ever. Right. We have an hour until we play Rome too. So I think we'll have to save here. I'll have to take some breakfast, have a shower, and then we can start playing. Hey Rombek, welcome. Caesar 3. Yeah, so we had to switch the music, otherwise I would be driven insane by the monotone soundtrack of like 3 songs that are like a person digging a single string. If there is even -1 Celsius in Britain today, the whole country stops. Imagine -37. Yeah. In here we have some pretty dark temperatures at some point. In some years we had Quite a lot, like minus 14, minus 17, something like that. I had experienced these, but not much more, I don't think. Workshop is almost done. In the city where I grew up, those temperatures were the norm. Can imagine. Minus 20 started being cold when I walked to school. It's pretty dire. I'm not the biggest fan of cold temperatures. Right, I think we'll wait until this is done and then we'll have to call it. For now, Morris is wounded, it's alright. It looks like we can still heal people even without the healing kits, so that's useful. But we'll need to make more eventually. So what are the beehives? Have we made them yet? No. I am. You are? Fond of cold temperatures. Prefer cold weather to warm. In winter you can put clothes until you're warm. In summer you can only take off certain amount of clothes until clothes come. Yeah. Also in the summer and even spring and autumn you have a lot of insects going around and they love to just bother you. So, you know, be it things like ticks in the forest or even like wasps, things that can sting you. Or other stuff, it's just annoying, but it's part of life. Spiders and bees. Cold is nice until the blizzards hit you and you have feet. The snow, yeah. Mosquitoes, yeah. Cold is fine until blizzard hits you and then you have no life because you play WoW all the time. Shoveling the driveway several times a day isn't fun. Yeah, I can imagine. Doesn't sound fun. Okay, workshop, come on. Food stockpile is low. I'll have to... We've designated some hunting. Morris is our only real hunter here. Osgood is our builder, I don't want him to hunt. It's difficult. Grenadier stocks are low, sire, yeah. Walking up to a half meter of snow in the morning isn't fun either, yeah. Glad I don't live in Scandinavia. Doesn't sound very good. Morris has hunted something. It's nice. This deer. One time I had to climb out of the window to shovel snow so you could open the door. That was extreme though. Yeah. Sounds pretty extreme to me. Okay, let's get a woodworking bench. Let's get a bowyer's table. And we'll probably give them a big brazier as well. Just imagine that it's even worse in Russia. Oh yeah, for sure. Some places worse than others. But there are people living in some pretty insane conditions out there. And they get used to it, at least some of it. Climate is warm here because we live by the sea. Okay. Makes sense, so the like inland parts of Russia are the coldest. I think it's the northernmost parts of Russia that are the coldest, of course. But yeah, some of the internal parts to the Far East are probably also pretty cold during the winter. Winter sucks, man. I hate it. We are the same latitudes as Siberia, okay. So it's much better then, because of the sea. Siberia is even further south than us. It's insane. It's like Gulag, but you actually want to live there. And I guess minus the forced labor part and all the guards part, but other than that, pretty spot on, I guess. There's some stream in the sea that brings warm air to here, which makes Scandinavia relatively warm. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So, did we build the workbenches? Not yet. I guess you are building the beehives, yeah. What's the time, like 9? Yeah. Workshop is done. It's not equipped with workbenches, but I guess fairly good progress today. So we've built a library, we've built a tower, and the armor inside, we've built a workshop, we've built the tailor's place, we've added a couple of beds, gotten a new person. So I'd say not bad. So hopefully can make it work later. I'm ready to play whenever, by the way, so tell me when you are ready. I'm gonna come back in about 30 minutes. I'm gonna have a meal, I'm gonna have a shower, and then we can play, if that sounds alright for you. Your village is looking good? Okay, glad to hear that. The winter makes it look a little bit weird, but yeah, I think we are doing a fairly good job at making things look not too samey and hideous and boxy. Okay, alright. So let me just pause it. And I'm gonna be ending the stream here, so thanks everyone for watching and see you around a bit. Yeah, the tower made definitely made a difference there. The tower is pretty good. I would like it to look better, but it's difficult to... I can actually, before we call it, I can tell you how it would actually, or how it should look like, rather. So this battlement is just, for this period, I think it's not accurate. You wouldn't have machicolations like this. Which machicolations are these holes which you can use to shoot arrows or throw stuff down at the attackers directly adjacent to the walls. It's actually quite difficult to get these things to work properly, as you can imagine. Also, medieval structures actually loved to do small footprint, because you would have to make that from stones usually, and then make the higher floor stretch out more, so the buildings would go like this and then like that. But it's difficult to achieve that look in the regular peasant houses. Maybe if we make something like a townsman's house, eventually might have to do that, where we try to do the outcropping. I actually don't remember how it's called properly, but then I think you know what I mean. Like for example, Warhammer for Fantasy does it, like exaggerates it to such a degree that it's ridiculous in most art and whatever, but in real life medieval history they did do that, because it is less work to build the upper floor from wooden and light materials than the bottom part, which had to be usually made of stone. So that's why. Also the tower itself should have, yeah, it shouldn't have the machicolations. Instead it should have big wooden roof and upper part, like the battlements themselves should be wooden with stretching out, like how to go, hoardings. So hoardings stretching out. You could have them not be there at all times, but usually we would have that just modified. So this is not really how a tower would look like. If anything, this looks more like a Roman sentry tower or anything like that, without minus the machicolations with this little thing. But it's not terrible, I guess. It adds some variety. Would look cool on better houses later on. Yeah. Fits this music though, yeah, it does. Alright, it's gonna be everything. Enough ranting about history, so let's head over to take some breakfast. Thanks for watching and see you around. Bye.